Y2K. The night 28,000 slot machines hit jackpot at once. How a one-line date bug lit up America's gaming floors, panicked casino bosses, and became the funniest footnote of the millennium. By late 1999, the phrase Y2K had mutated from an IT term into an apocalypse brand. Network news ran daily tickers of potential breakdowns. Planes would fall, pacemakers would gasp, power grids would crack in the cold of January 1st. Governments printed checklists advising families to stock bottled water and flashlight batteries. In Las Vegas, Reno, Atlantic City, and a growing constellation of riverboat jurisdictions, gaming executives spent small fortunes hiring COBOL contractors to certify every mainframe and progressive jackpot controller. Behind the scenes, casino managers feared one glitch above all: the jackpot storm, an error that would trick every slot machine into declaring a win simultaneously. Progressive slots pooled nickels from thousands of players into seven-figure payoffs. If even a few banks of machines spit out phantom jackpots, the liability could bankrupt a property overnight. Auditors swore such a cascade was impossible. Then, midnight arrived, and for a brief, surreal window, the absurd became real. To understand the glitch, you need a quick tour of late 1990s slot anatomy. Unlike mechanical one-arm bandits of the Rat Pack era, modern video slots were microcomputer hubs. Each unit contained a game logic board running proprietary firmware, a real-time clock chip maintaining calendar and time in binary-coded decimals, a cashbox microcontroller registering coin-in/credit out, and, crucially, a progressive link board that broadcast bet data to a floor-wide jackpot server over RS-485 serial loops. The most famous explosion of phantom wealth erupted in the early minutes of January 1, 2000, at Delaware Park Casino, a video lottery parlor then hosting 1,581 IGT machines across 2 floors. Security footage later released in a state legislature hearing shows the exact moment, 000059 EST, a pause so silent you can hear champagne flutes clink, 000100, every top box flashes jackpot $1,200, sirens whirl, ticket printers disgorge foot-long vouchers, and 100 inebriated patrons erupt in cheers. Within 90 seconds, the PA system crackles. Attention guests, gaming will temporarily suspend. Please remain at your seats. By 0006, maintenance supervisors had flipped the master breakers to dark the floor. The blackout created its own rumors. Y2K had killed the grid, terrorists were hacking the East Coast. Pit bosses wheeled out portable light arrays until generators kicked in. Meanwhile, technicians phoned Reno, where IGT engineers were monitoring national telemetry. Their consoles lit red across multiple time zones, from Empress Joliet in Illinois to Treasure Chest Riverboat in Kenner, Louisiana. The pattern lagged the globe by the hour hand. Australia had already endured its seizure, Europe too. Now North America blinked awake to a multi-million-dollar ledger error. The legal question erupted before the lights returned. Must we pay? Gaming regulations generally hold that any jackpot displayed to a player is owed, except where obvious mechanical or computer error can be proven. Slot firmware maintained audit trails, and regulators could inspect checksum logs. But obvious is slippery when a crowd of witnesses already photographed their triumphant reels. At Delaware Park, 437 patrons demanded immediate payment. Security politely directed them to a claims desk where the queue stretched past the valet stand. By dawn, the Delaware Lottery Office issued an emergency directive. All disputed jackpots were void due to system malfunction, yet players would receive $5 meal vouchers and free play credits as goodwill. Similar decrees surfaced in Jersey, Iowa, and Mississippi within hours. Only one property, the newly opened Silver Legacy in Reno, chose the opposite tack, paying every phantom win under a Happy 2K courtesy rule. The PR stunt cost $120,000 and earned a week of national press. At 22:00 PST, 01:00 EST, Reno headquarters summoned an emergency war room in Building B. Engineers pulled the latest EPROM image onto an ICE in-circuit emulator rig and reproduced the fault by setting the clock to December 31st, 99, 2350-950. Scope traces revealed the smoking gun. A single 16-bit compare in timer CC used the CPU's unsigned greater than flag instead of greater or equal, so the value 0x0000 satisfied less than minimum valid. The fallback subroutine erroneously wrote a bit mask of 0xFF into the status register, an aggregate flag that downstream meters decoded as jackpot. A patch took 14 KB, small enough to fit existing code space by culling unused French language strings. Distribution, however, posed headaches. Each EPROM sat in a socket under tamper-evident seals. Technicians could not legally break those seals without gaming control board oversight. The fix rolled out property by property, supervised by regulators, a process that stretched well into February. Casinos reopened slots in staggered banks to maintain capacity, and floor attendants carried laminated disclaimers explaining that jackpot signal tests might still trigger alarms. For players, the fiasco became an instant bar story. For casinos, it was a reputational time bomb. Some lessons: own the narrative fast. Delaware Park's free play vouchers calmed crowds. Properties that offered nothing, most memorably the Gulf Coast's Casino Magic, faced local TV headlines like "Casino says no to lucky locals." Never blame customers. Early drafts of press releases titled "The Error, a Customer Display Malfunction." Marketing vetoed the phrase. Victims do not like being implied as culprits. Turn lemons into loyalty. Silver Legacy's mass payout cost 6 figures but earned front-page USA Today coverage. Cheap advertising compared with a Super Bowl slot. Gaming boards nationwide tightened firmware certification. Nevada introduced Regulation 14 Tech 3, demanding real-time clocks capable of representing 100 years beyond manufacturing date. New Jersey imposed a redundant date source, a heartbeat from the floor server cross-checked against cabinet RTCs. IGT, Bally, and Aristocrat all migrated to battery-backed CMOS clocks with 4-digit years and leap year tables extending to 2099. The event also accelerated the industry's move from EPROMs to flash memory. Remote patch capability, once feared for hacking potential, suddenly looked like a safeguard when paired with cryptographic signing and regulator keys. By 2004, nearly every new cabinet could receive over-the-air updates, allowing emergency bug fixes without a screwdriver. Myth: all slots on the Vegas Strip paid out simultaneously. Reality: the Strip used a higher percentage of Sigma machines with different RTC logic and saw only sporadic tilts. Myth: jackpot values hit their maximum and spat coins. Reality: no hoppers emptied. The machines locked in tilt before mechanical payout. Only ticket printers clipped small voucher stubs. Myth: some players cashed tickets before the shutdown and retired. Reality: tickets required validation at the cage. Cages froze red-flagged ticket numbers once the scope of the malfunction was clear. 2 patrons attempted to cash at off-site redemption centers. CCTV footage and synced serials voided the claims. Cheryl D., slot attendant, Bally's Atlantic City midnight hit, and suddenly every machine is screaming, "I thought we've been hacked!" Then I see people dancing on stools. One guy told me, "This is the new millennium, baby!" He was hugging a voucher worth $1,200 he'd never see. Marcus W., technician, Delaware Park. The breaker room smelled like burnt dust because we'd never killed that much power at once. We wrote 2,000 on masking tape and stuck it to every meter, so when corporate asked, "What day did this happen?" we could just point. Ken R., regional regulator, Mississippi, I signed off on those firmware audits. When the tilt storm hit, my pager beeped like a heart monitor. I told my commissioner, "Congratulations, sir. We just discovered the only Y2K bug that makes people too rich." He didn't laugh. CSI Las Vegas aired a 2001 episode, One Hit Wonder, featuring a casino hack that floods machines with jackpots at midnight, loosely inspired by the Y2K event. The Simpsons referenced it in the Season 11 clip show, where Springfield's casino bursts coins at Homer's feet. he stuffs them into Marge's hair. Today, Y2K slot tickets sell on eBay as collectibles. $30 for a voided handpay stub, $250 if accompanied by floor shutdown photos. Tech historians cite the glitch as proof that the most expensive Millennium Bug prevention plans still missed weird edge cases. In the grand ledger of Y2K disasters, the slot machine jackpot storm cost far less than feared. No cities blacked out, no nukes misfired. Yet it remains perhaps the most cinematic lights, sirens, a chorus of premature fortune. It exposed a fragility at the intersection of entertainment and code, where a single bit flipped the definition of lucky. 24 years on, casinos run server-based games with clocks synced to Stratum 1 NTP, leap second patched and leap year tested to 2400. Still, every New Year's Eve, old technicians glance at diagnostic LEDs at 2359, remembering the night the house didn't lose but nearly went broke trying to explain why nobody really won.